What's going down, gang? Welcome to another episode of Happy Hour with Jay. Today we got something special for you. We have a rare interview. Now, normally it's me rocking and rolling, ranting and raving, but today we have got the founder of, now don't freak out, we've got the founder of Hostage Tape. It is the premier mouth taping product in the industry. Now, if you know anything about mouth taping, you're going to love this interview. Basically, it is the concept of taping your mouth at night when you sleep so that you can breathe through your nose, that it's going to improve like all elements of your health, wellness, and fitness. And it's even going to make you more attractive. I don't know if that's on their website, but I just threw that in there just as maybe a way to get you to listen. But Alex, the founder today, is on with me, and we jam about all things mouth taping, health, fitness, wellness, Amazon. Throw a little Ed Milet story in there at the end. But before we dive in, guys, this episode is sponsored, as always, by BuzzBuddy. BuzzBuddy is your alcohol support metabolism product. If you're consuming alcoholic beverages, I don't care if it's a glass of wine on the couch in the evening. I don't care if it's a Vegas bender, a bachelor party, summer at the pool. You've got to be using BuzzBuddy just to protect your body, your liver, your brain, help metabolize that alcohol so that it doesn't get all those toxins into those two really important organs. You feel better. You don't wake up the next day with a hangover. It is a win, 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 win. If you use BuzzBuddy, I promise you, you will never drink without it. I call it drinking responsibly, drinking smarter. And I promise you, you'll never use it. You'll never not use it. So give BuzzBuddy a run. Like I said last week on the show, if you haven't tried BuzzBuddy, all you got to do is go to the website. I'm going to give you 15% off just for showing up. Just show up to the website. I'm going to give you 15% off. Try it, buy it, use it, love it. And I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, let's jump into the show. You're going to love this. Alex is a dude. Really like him. Alex, welcome to the show, brother. I've already enjoyed talking to you, and I know this is going to be unbelievably awesome.
It's awesome, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, every time that I just hear the name Hostage Tape, I think my first thought is I absolutely love it. And even before today, I'm obviously just meeting you for the first time. My questions have always been, this guy's either got to have a sense of humor like mine, got to be a little bit of a different kind of thinker, because I think it is phenomenal. So can we start there? Like, was this the original name? Were you sitting on the toilet and you're like, Hostage Tape? Or how did this come to you?
Yeah, this is one of the most common questions I get because most people who hear this name, they immediately think, why the hell would you call it that?
Oh, no,
You
not
know,
me. I love it.
and they go, you should fire your marketing department, right? So it's an endless amount
Yeah,
of just crazy criticism. It's very similar to Liquid Death, right?
totally.
Liquid Death was exactly that, right?
And if you
Creating this
guys don't know the
polarizing.
math, if you guys don't know the math on Liquid Death, go do a Google search and let's see
Yeah.
how stupid that guy looks.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And so,
Brilliant.
okay. So this goes back to when I started the company and the idea first, before I even like came up with the thought of like, I'm gonna build this crazy mouth tape brand called Hostage Tape. I stumbled into mouth taping and I'd never heard of it before. I'd never heard of this concept of mouth breathing and nose breathing that we can get into probably later. But
Yeah.
when I stumbled into it, and I'm an entrepreneur by trade. Like this is just my life. This is my second startup. So my first one I ran for 16 years, and then I sold it. And when I was vesting that equity out, I kept thinking like, what's next? What's next? Because I wanted to move on and do something new, and I didn't know what it was. And I wanted to get into e-commerce because my previous company was a SaaS company, and running SaaS is just super hard.
All right.
And so I wanted to get into e-commerce. And when I stumbled upon mouth taping, it blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And then I realized the opportunity that I had. So then I started going through the mental gymnastics of, okay, is this actually a brand? Is this a business that I can scale? Like, is there enough of a moat here that I can build something that I can actually do something with? Because at the end of the day, it is a commodity. It's just tape,
Yeah,
right? So I thought I was inspired by Liquid Death, right? That we just talked about.
totally.
And I was also inspired by a guy by the name of Moise Ali. Moise Ali was the founder of Native Deodorant. And if
Okay.
Native Deodorant, you go into Target, it was really one of the first all natural deodorants that it's this all white bottle that you saw in Target. And he he had this idea where you go into Target and there's all these products, and if you see a sea of all these different things, there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity to create something that stands out, right? That differentiates, assuming there's a big enough market. Now, granted, mouth taping, you kind of go, well, there isn't, mouth taping doesn't exist in Target, doesn't exist in retail. It's not really a
Yeah.
product, right? So you kind of go, well, is there a TAM there? And fortunately, there is, right? I mean,
Right.
over half the people in this country, they sleep with their mouth open. But if you think about it, there's hundreds of millions of people who sleep every night. So of course there's a big enough TAM for improving people's sleep,
Right.
right? So I went, okay, then this isn't about the product per se. This is about building a brand, which I hadn't done before. My previous company wasn't really building a brand. It was just building software. And so now it was an exercise in how do I build a brand? Because that was going to be my moat. And at the time, my wife and we were divorced. And because that's part of my origin story was we had gotten divorced. I started this company, and then now we're back together again. Now that we scaled it, and it was in the middle of the divorce where when the kids would come into my house, I used to warn them. I would say, "Hey kids, if you bust into the room and you see me, don't freak out. It's going to look like I'm being held hostage, but it's just mouth tape. Because when
Okay.
you see somebody for the first time, it looks ridiculous,
Totally.
absolutely ridiculous." But I also realized that the flip side of it was, wait a minute, people feel held hostage by poor sleep or their partner, and they don't know what to do. So don't let bad sleep hold you hostage. That became the idea that
Okay.
I could tap into that emotion of how people feel. And let's be honest, you scroll on Instagram and you see hostage tape, you're going to stop immediately and go, what the is this?
100%.
Like, wait, what is this? And that's the currency today, attention.
Yeah.
So I
Totally.
knew that everything we were going to do was going to be marketing on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all these places that I had to get people's attention. So I needed to be polarizing, right? And
Totally.
yes, the brand was meant to be a bit cheeky in the sense that, like, yeah, we're serious about helping people change their lives with better sleep, but also we don't take ourselves too seriously because we called it hostage tape, right?
Right.
So I knew that there was going to be a demographic of people who hated it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But then there's going to be a demographic of people who absolutely love it and they're attracted to it. And I wanted to lean into that, right? I didn't want to be all medically, and um, just boring. Because
Agreed.
if you try to be safe with a brand, it's boring and nobody gives a shit,
Yeah.
right?
We'll go back to
And
the native guy. Like if you see their commercials, it's chaos. It's fun. It's like, what is this? The deodorant. And
yeah,
so he took the same angle of like, we're going to be different. We're not just going to be, the
right.
average run of the mill deodorant. So and Liquid Death, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that was just it, right? I loved what Liquid Death did. They took the biggest commodity on the planet. And granted, it's great water. I love their water. It
Yeah,
is phenomenal water, but it's this brand that
totally.
I'm willing to pay more for it because it's great water, but also I love the branding of it. And
Absolutely.
that's the moat that I leaned into. And I realized Hostage Tape was going to be this brand that stood out, it was polarizing. You were not going to forget about it. And it really leans on this principle of the 95-5 rule. Okay. And the 95-5 rule basically says this: look, 95% of people are not in market for a product that you're trying to sell.
Right.
Okay. The 5% are. But when any of those 95% of people do finally come in market, what do they buy? They buy the product that they remember.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
call it
who
top of mind awareness, right? It's like if you can be top of mind, even if it's just with the name, they're going to buy your stuff.
who is going to forget about Hostage Tape?
Nobody.
Nobody. So I know I've got the biggest funnel out there. I mean, we're the biggest brand in the world. There's no question there. But also because of the name and because of the amount of, I got Joe Rogan shouting us out on his podcast every now
Right.
and again, right? You got people like him, and I've got NFL MVPs who use us. I've got all sorts of names that everybody knows, right? Even Mark Zuckerberg, big hostage tape user, like the biggest people on the planet. And when all these things line up, and then all of a sudden somebody goes, I should really try mouth tape. People are talking about it. Yeah, hostage tape. I guess I'll try that because that's the one that, I guess everybody's using.
Right.
So then they go and then they buy that. So
That's brilliant. I love the whole I didn't even go that deep into it. Like I just love the hostage tape name, but like you are if you don't sleep well, you're held hostage by that, right? It affects everything in your life. So that's a great,
well,
depth
and
of story.
and you know this, that most of us older men, what do we do when it comes to our health? We don't go to doctors. We're like,
No.
well, I'll just figure it out, right? And most of us, especially when it comes to our sleep and snoring, have lived a whole life of, I don't know what to do. Am
Yeah.
I snoring that bad, honey? Really? Is it that bad? I don't know what to do. Whatever. You
Yeah.
just kind of don't know. And what you don't know is your wife is silently like, she wants to kill you, right? Or she's becoming more resentful every year, or you feel like shit every day. You don't know
Yeah.
why. And it's because of your sleep, because of how poor sleep you're getting. So that's like the beauty behind it. And you're right. Most people they don't connect the dots there, which is why we just have to keep saying the same message over and over and over and over and over again. And then you finally go, oh, I get it.
But you're right. If you've spent one night in the room with an aggressive snorer, it's you're not even the one who's snoring and it's debilitating, right? It's like this is the worst night's sleep I've ever gotten. So flip that over to the person who's actually doing the snoring. You know what I mean? So you talked about that. Like, were you really like an aggressive, like for as long as you can remember, you were a snorer, like you snored aggressively at night?
I, s- I snored so bad that it pushed my wife out of the bedroom for years.
And it
And
was just
so my
habitual.
wife,
You couldn't do anything. It was just it was going to happen.
well, I didn't know. I did
Okay.
for so many years of, so when my wife and I have been together, despite the 4 years we were apart, I mean, we've been together for over 20 years. And that whole time I was a snorer, like, and I didn't know it.
Right.
Like for most of our marriage, I didn't really know how bad it was until finally she's just like, it is so bad. I got to get the hell out of here. And so she moved in the other room, and that's when it was like, oh, I guess it's that bad, really.
Yeah.
So, and
What did you,
that's most men. Most men are going through that. Most men and
yeah.
women. So,
I would agree. I would 100% agree. I've got a few clients right now that I'm thinking that I know they struggle with their sleep. I don't know their snore patterns or whatever, but I know that this is something that they're going to be willing to try just immediately. And tapping into that, like whenever you started, I know you read the book and they're, about them closing their nose, forcing them to breathe out of their
yep.
mouth, and then the reversal in a day. What did you really notice when you started doing it after reading that book and the first time you mouth tape? Like what can people really expect, right? Because
Yeah.
and it's got to be a little weird the first night, right? Like it just
Yeah. So if everybody hasn't read that book, definitely read it. It's this book. It's Breath by James Nestor, best-selling book. Okay, it's absolutely worth a read. Really easy read, not overly complicated. But so when I read that experiment, so the experiment that he does in the book for everybody to know is they go to Stanford Medical Center and they wanna know what would happen if they plug their nose for 10 days, and then they're going to record it both anecdotally and also with the doctors there. And over those 10 days, they developed sleep apnea. They snored like crazy, and the oxygen in their blood like plummeted through the floor. So then after 10 days, they unplugged their nose, they mouth taped to force nasal breathing, and everything went away back to normal in a day. And so when I read that, I had never heard of this concept of mouth breathing before. I'm like, I've been an athlete my whole life. How have my coaches never taught me this? Like
right.
it seems to have been lost in the United States. it's definitely taught in like Eastern culture, but just not here. And so when I got mouth tape, but I basically went on, and at the time, mouth tape really wasn't what it is today. Like, I mean,
Right.
we've made it this category that it is now. But before then, like you just go on and you buy like micropore tape or, you know, any kind of tape you could really use and try it.
Yeah.
And so the first thought that went through my mind is the same thought that goes through everybody's mind is, wait a minute. What if my nose gets stuffy? Am I going to die? That's a normal reaction that
Right.
everybody has when you're going to mount tape for the first time. But I realized I'm like, no, I'm going to be fine because they talk about it in the book extensively. You know, Dr. Angie Huberman talks about it all the time, mount taping. I'm like, I'll be fine, right? Just suck it up. I'll be good. And then I put the tape on and I went to bed. And then when I woke up, I couldn't believe how I felt. Like I had felt like I explain it like my 15-year-old son. I felt like the amount of energy that I had, I was a teenager again. And I think it really just comes down to I was finally getting the rest and the oxygen
Mm-hmm.
that I normally should have. It's like what Gary Brecka always says, right? It's not that you feel amazing, it's just you feel like you're supposed to feel finally,
Yeah.
right? So I finally was how I was supposed to feel. And after that first night, for me, it was immediate. I immediately knew the following morning. And many people will have that where once they do it one time, their mind just explodes with, oh my God, I can't believe it. For other people, it might take a few days, right? Some people, it might take a week, right? But for me, it was instantaneously. I immediately knew my life was going to be changed forever. And in a moment, it was like I was inspired to do something with it. I just didn't know how. And then I eventually flushed out the idea of hostage tape and then started the company a little while after that.
I love that. And if you guys listen, I mean, obviously you guys listen to the show. I like to give like real world analogies. So when you were talking, I was thinking about like all of the scenarios in life where they tell you to breathe through your nose, right? Like if you get lightheaded, if you're sick or anything like that, they're like, all right, just take some deep breaths through your nose. Nobody ever says, hey, breathe through your mouth. And then when anybody's ever in the hospital and they put oxygen on them, where do they put it? Right? They don't put it in their mouth. They put it in their nasal cannula, right? Because you're going to get the most oxygenation from that. So it just makes common sense
Well,
that if you
okay.
breathe through your nose.
Here's another thing that's interesting. So you remember the old like take a paper bag, put it on your mouth,
Right.
you
If you're
know,
high,
like
yeah,
okay, when you're hyperventilating and it calms you down, right?
yeah.
So there's there's a thing that's happening there that's actually very similar to why when we nasal breathe, our body is more efficient
All right.
and it's calmer and everything. So it comes down to this concept called the Bohr effect. So when you breathe through your nose, what you're doing is you're increasing the amount of CO2 in our body. Okay. Because when we breathe through our mouth, we're releasing too much CO2. Okay. So by slowing that down, now I have more CO2 in my body. And when I have more CO2 in my body, okay, I can take the oxygen into my muscles more effectively because there's a one for one exchange of CO2 and oxygen. And if I don't have enough CO2, then the oxygen can't get used,
Right.
right? So that's why, like, when you hold the bag on your mouth and you're exhaling CO2 and you're pulling CO2 back into your body, it then regulates proper CO2 levels in your body and it calms you down, right? Um, but same thing, like when you're huffing and puffing out of your mouth, it puts your body into a fight or flight state, right? And then you're not getting enough oxygen, right? And
Oh,
then your body starts to freak out, and then you feel panicked, right? And that's why, like when you're sleeping at night, if all you're doing is breathing out of your mouth, your body's in a constant state of stress, whether you realize it or not. And so that's why you just don't get very. That's part of the reason you don't get great sleep, right? Your body's in a stressed out state, and you're not getting enough oxygen.
you know, I was also thinking about this. Like, if you're on social media, and I'm sure everybody listening to this is, you've seen these extensive like morning routines, and now a lot of those
Yeah.
incorporate some kind of breath work. It's like a 17-hour process, so you got to get up really early to get it all in. But my brain is as just hopefully what I consider to be a logical thinker is if you're going to spend all that time in the morning doing all those things and breath work is one of those things, what if this is maybe crazy, what if we just maximized our oxygen utilization or our body's ability to get oxygen while we're doing absolutely nothing, sleeping, right? And then
Hmm.
sure, you can get up and do your breath work in the morning, but this just seems like a more logical, like, I'm not doing anything anyway. I might as well, like, get some positive breath work in. So if you're one of those people, this just seems logical. And I'm sure a lot of those people are mouth taping. They just haven't done their evening routine yet. And those videos are probably coming. But
Well,
it just seems logical.
and it's almost like, so when you think about wearing a Whoop or an Aura ring,
Yeah,
right? There's something missing there. It's great that you're tracking that
totally.
stuff, but like you're not actually tracking one of the most important things. It's, are you mouth breathing when you're
Yeah.
sleeping? You know? So
And the
that's
simplicity is ridiculous, right? It's like
hmm.
that thing. I think we live in a world where we think if there's no possible way it can work unless you need like a abacus and a sundial and you got to hire a physicist and all that stuff. If you don't need that, then it won't work. This almost seems so simple. And for me, like that's the easiest route to success is like find the simple things you can do and repeat those over and over again. So it makes no sense to me why somebody wouldn't try this. Even like me, I'm sitting here talking shit about it and I'm like spraying magnesium spray on my feet, melatonin. I got an eye mask on. My wife, she's like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I'm trying to get good sleep. Right. So, so now I got to tell her tonight, I'm like, hey, we're going dark. I'm going hostage on you. So listen, I'm guilty as everybody else, but I mean, I think we should all be giving this a run.
It's almost so simple that the average person goes, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
Totally.
That seems too simple. And they're like,
Yeah,
why hasn't my doctor or more doctors talked about this? And
totally.
you can certainly look, if you want to find the answer you want to hear, you can find it, right?
Absolutely.
There's going to be all sorts of doctors that say one thing versus doctors that say other things. But one thing I can tell you is that, yeah, 3, 4 years ago, there was quite a few doctors who poo-poo the idea of mouth tape, but that has changed dramatically. The amount of medical doctors that we have that back us, that recommend us to their patients, like we do a post-purchase survey and we say, hey, where did you hear about us? The amount of them that say, my sleep doctor recommended you, my
That's
dentist
cool.
recommended you, my, cardiologist, right? Like all these different medical professionals are telling them, go get hostage tape. It's wild. And it's one of those, it's almost one of those, I forget, is it Schrodinger? There's some famous quote where it's like, the first time you see something, everybody thinks it's crazy,
Right.
right? And then the next time they'll still think it's crazy. And then after the third time, it's accepted as normal. So very soon we're in a stage, we're past the crazy. Like a lot of people don't think mouth taping is as crazy as it was anymore.
Right. Oh,
Okay.
totally.
We're in phase 2 right now. And very soon we're going to be in phase 3 within the next few years where mouth taping is accepted is a normal practice that, oh yeah, absolutely. If you're mouth breathing, you should definitely be mouth taping for sure.
Well, it's like I said to you on the way to the gym today, I just recorded literally a 30-second Instagram video and threw it up on the page. And my phone started lighting up. It's like, oh, I'm using that. Tell Alex I love it. Hey, Jay, I'm using that. Tell Alex I love it. Oh, shit, Jay, I use that every night. And I'm like, where have I been? Like, I'm supposed to be the guy. Like, I'm supposed to be giving you guys the information. Like, let's feed me a little bit. I was a little pissed off, if I'm gonna be honest about it. But no, it's really cool. And I looked at your website, and I mean, almost 8,000 virtually 5-star reviews. And I know that you have way more customers than that, but it's really hard to get somebody to give you a review. I don't care what it is. They'll give you a bad review in a heartbeat, but to get that many really high quality reviews of, hey, this really works, I think is a testament to what you guys are doing and how you've really opened up the market to, to this new way of thinking.
Yeah, we've got roughly over 150,000 people who use hostage tape regularly
That's
every night.
awesome.
And I'll tell you, this is my mission, man. My mission is to hit at least 1 million people. We're going to change 1 million people's lives with mouth tape. That's the mission that we're on right now. And we're at 150,000. We got 850,000 more to go and then beyond. So,
I think that's doable. I really do. Like when you say that, like, I'm an entrepreneur as
oh, I
well,
know
so
it's doable.
I'm a
Yeah.
big thinker, but I'm like that doesn't seem that crazy to me. Like it
Yeah.
almost seems like we're going to get that. Like that doesn't seem like a problem. So I think that's a
Yeah.
really cool thing. So as an entrepreneur, I'm thinking business brain now. Like, what are you
Mhm.
guys? Obviously, your website's phenomenal. Your social's great. Like all of those types of things. When Rogan says something like anything, like it's going to move the needle. What's the biggest driver right now of that new client acquisition for you guys? Like, where are you seeing that come from?
Yeah, it's all Facebook and Google.
Okay. So it's just
So
people coming across that.
yeah, so we spend a lot of money running ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google, on those platforms. And so
You
like,
might know this too, Alex. As far as people searching for mouth, do people search, is that mouth taping?
oh yeah.
Is that the most popular search?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that search term. So back when I started, that search term wasn't very popular.
Sure.
I want to say maybe it got 5 to 10,000 searches a month on Google. But now it's regularly getting over 200,000 searches a
Okay.
month. So
That's
it's just skyrocketed, and it's only going to continue to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's trending up for sure.
Yeah.
Now, as the guy, right? Like when you bring anything to market, everybody else wants to come to market with you, right? It's like people want to knock you off, and we're
Hmm.
this and we're that. And one of the things that I loved about what you guys are doing is, yeah, it's simple, but you've kept the purity of what it is that you're trying to do without, like, I call it jumping the shark. Like if you guys are old enough to watch, like, I think it was Happy Days whenever Fonzie jumped the
The
shark, and
Fonz, yeah.
that's when you knew Happy Days was over, right? Fonz is skiing and jumping sharks. So I call it jumping the shark in business. Like people come out and there's like, they're trying to do a chamomile tea flavored mouth strip and shit like that. It's like, as a business guy, I'm always like, okay, here we go. Like now, two good things, right? That means more people are entering the space. But like,
Hmm.
how do you guys differentiate from all of that noise and all of that, nonsense out
Yeah.
there?
Well, certainly, when you're the biggest player in the space, then all of a sudden everybody starts gunning for you.
Sure.
Right. And that's certainly what's happened. Um, Certainly lots of people are trying to copy what we're doing. But at the end of the day, what makes us unique and what makes us who we are that nobody else can truly touch is the fact that, well, number one, we have the brand, man. Like
Yeah.
the Hostage State brand. There is not a single mount tape brand out there that has this brand recognition that is so spot on, fun, and polarizing than we do. Nobody does.
Agreed.
And that's worth its weight in gold. But also there's an authenticity to the story. And when you realize that we're real people, I'm a
Right.
real guy behind this as to what problem I had in my life and how I discovered it and how I figured out how to solve it. And then I was inspired to help all these other men solve that problem too. That's very clear. It's very out there. When you search and you start looking videos and you're watching content about us, that there's trust and there's authenticity there.
Yeah.
And all the other ones who try, they're just faceless internet sellers thinking that they can try to capitalize on it, who you have no idea who these people are, what their
Right.
intentions are. And at the end of the day, our product's the best product. Like it might be tape, but it's a very specific type of tape that we've done a very good job to make sure it's a really great quality. Whereas when the people come out and try to copy us, they find cheap manufacturers of the stuff that just
Oh, totally.
is not even the same. So the amount of people who go, "Oh yeah, I tried the cheap one on Amazon. It wasn't even close to your stuff." So I'm back to you guys. I get it now.
Yeah.
So
This is the same story that I sell and tell. Is like, I have my own sports nutrition line. I have my own lifestyle supplement brands. And I tell people the reason that I make these is because I've spent 30 plus years in the supplement industry, the nutrition industry, and I know the type of nonsense that goes on. These companies that are saying like, "Oh, hey, here's a product," and there's really none of that product in the product, right? And there's so
mhm.
much of that going on. So
Like
I love.
creatine gummies.
Oh my gosh, did you watch that?
No, but I
Unbelievable.
I just when that came out, I'm like, that doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
because of what we just talked about. The amount of knockoffs that come out of the woodwork just to try to capitalize on it.
It's worse
So
than you think. Like, obviously that's the world I live in. So I went deep down the rabbit hole, and it was like, and now the companies that got, literally caught red handed, it's obvious, it's there. It's what Now they're trying to like backtrack and like remove all their, it's embarrassing for for an industry that I've been in for so long. Like I started my career working for the largest nutritional company in the world,
Hmm.
and have been in it in some shit, way, shape, or form ever since. And so I've been behind the scenes of every lab, every manufacturing facility, you name it. And it's sad, but I wish it was more rare than it is. So I
Yeah.
love what you just said about like, we're bringing the best possible product to market because the customer, you're using it. You know what I mean? That's what I always tell people. Like, I make the supplements that I make because I want to use them. Like, I love you guys, but I'm really selfish and I want to make sure that Jay's getting the best possible shit that Jay can get. And just as a benefit, I'll offer it to you as well. That's really what you're doing. Like, you made this product for you.
That's every product that I've ever made and sold, my two companies,
Yeah.
were things that I built because these were things I wanted to do and
Yep.
problems I needed to solve. So, audience, key right there is if
Yeah.
you want to start a business, find a problem in your life that you need to solve.
Totally.
That's where you start with something in your life that you need to solve, a problem. And then maybe there's a big enough TAM out there that you can actually build a business out of it.
Yeah, and secondarily to that, if you're looking for a product, find a company that has a founder that really cares, that started it for a particular reason and not just to move dollars through the TikTok shop. You know what I mean? I think there's a
Hmm.
thing about that. You were talking a while ago and it hit me like a ton of bricks, even though we've kind of already glazed over this. I've never bought mouth tape ever. I don't think I've ever like done my own personal Google search for mouth tape. But even before I met you today, even before we scheduled this interview a few months ago, if somebody would have said, Jay, I'm thinking about mouth taping, what company should I use? Hands down, unequivocally, without even a second thought, the only name that I would have been able to provide them would have been hostage tape. So you nailed it in all those respects. And as you were speaking a while ago, it was kind of coming full circle to me that like, holy shit, like he's right. Like you've got the brand because of the coolness of that. And I think that's really, as an entrepreneur, like I love a good brand. Like I love packaging. I love a good name. I love a good story. I love it all. So I dig it, man. I think that's really cool that you pull that off. And I want to touch on something before we go. And I'm going to let you dive as deep as we want to dive. But I think a lot of people are Amazon
Hmm.
crazy. And I don't want somebody to go there and say, well, but hey guys, what's
Yeah.
going down. So I'm going to let you drive the bus on this, but I did notice one of your videos saying that you guys are no longer on Amazon, and
Yeah.
I'm going to let you dance, and then I'll just ask questions, and if you don't want to answer them, you don't answer them.
Oh no, I'm perfectly. This is a new angle that I'm trying to push because it's interesting, right?
Okay.
So we got banned on Amazon,
Yeah.
and there's actually a much bigger story here. But the like we're the biggest player in mount tape, and so we've absolutely been singled out by Amazon. But the reality is Amazon actually banned mount tape as a whole category. So to everybody out there, you can go on Amazon and you can search mount tape, and you're going to see all sorts of shitty knockoffs that are
I
there.
did it today, and
Yeah.
it's a laundry list of just bullshit, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term.
Well, and so that's a really good. And so we challenged them on that. We said, look, guys, we're the biggest brand in the world. I mean, just if you want to measure us by revenue, right? We're an 8-figure brand. And you're keeping us from selling mount tape, yet you're allowing all of these other knockoff shitty brands to sell on Amazon, yet you're not keeping them off the platform. So to sit there and say, well, we're Amazon, they're so big, there's so many people, we like that's bullshit, man. Like, don't sit and tell me that like you're going to keep us off because we're actually legitimate. We're a
Right.
legitimate company helping people, real people, an American company, and you want to ban the category and keep us off, but then allow these other crappy like companies that people can't actually trust to sell it illegally. And so we challenged them on it. And because you can still get around it and list your stuff, there's
Right.
tons of ways to get around it because they try to automate as much of it as they can, the stuff that they're catching and like, or less, you've got an enemy who like wants to report you all the time,
Right.
which I'm sure we do.
100%.
So there was ways we could get around it, But then we finally said, screw this. Let's challenge them. And so we challenged them, right? We actually filed in a legal way to challenge them to say, we need to bring this to your attention because this is what's happening and this isn't right. And so then that's when they were like, oh yeah. So then they completely like banned us from Amazon entirely, which is, I knew it was that was either gonna happen
Yeah,
or we were gonna still continue to find a way to skirt around the rules, which is like, I don't want to sit and rely on Amazon sales that I know at some point are gonna go like that because
totally.
math tape's banned. So I didn't care if they banned us like officially or not because it didn't really
Right.
matter. It was, I need to get their attention to get some kind of resolution out of this because it's just
Totally.
ridiculous. And you want to, here's the most insane part of the whole thing. Okay. I don't know that I'm ever going to post this publicly, but I'll mention it here. The founder of Amazon, I actually, I don't know this officially, but I would not be surprised if he's using hostage tape, but his brother uses hostage tape. So the executives at Amazon
Right.
use hostage tape.
Did they what reason did they give you that they banned the quote unquote category of
So
mouth taping?
they tried to give our lawyers some BS excuse about how the FDA came to them and said, we think mouth tape's unsafe, so you should pull it.
I don't buy that for
And
a
I'm like,
second.
our lawyers are like, that doesn't sound like Amazon. Amazon doesn't give a shit about what
No.
the government or other firms say. They do what they want to do for money. They're going to make money. If they can make money doing it, they're going to do that, obviously within reason. And I'm like, then this doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
the amount of money that we're making on mouth tape and the opportunity here, there's a huge opportunity for us to partner with Amazon and make a lot of money selling mouth tape, changing a
Yeah.
lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And
That totally that makes zero sense.
there's something else
Yeah.
going on there, man, that they just don't see. So we just taken the approach like, all right, look, we don't need Amazon. There's plenty of,
Agreed.
I mean, look, AG1 became a billion-dollar brand without Amazon.
Yeah.
There's plenty of brands who have built amazing companies without Amazon, and that's just the route we're going to continue to take.
Yeah. I just started a brand new like lifestyle alcohol metabolism product, and I made the decision not to go to Amazon for that very reason. And I've had some of the same problems you're having, like with TikTok. Like
Mm-hmm.
TikTok will allow the other players in there. For some reason, they won't allow me to go on like TikTok shop. And I've been through the same stuff of like, they're like, well, yours. And I'm like, my product's not only better than those, it's cleaner. I've got all the data, all the studies. And for some reason, I think they just sometimes pick products that are like, oh, we're going to, take our ball and go home and you guys can figure it out. And sadly for two guys like us is we're going to figure it out and we don't need your ball. So I love that. And I love the fact that you guys are standing on that. And I don't think you need Amazon to do and be and have what you want. And in all actuality, you can probably control, the narrative a little bit better if it's not on there because you're going to be able to handle all of the information.
Well, the dirty secret about Amazon that most people don't know is that so many of those reviews are bullshit, they're
Oh yeah.
fake, and a lot of the bad reviews. So if you go to if there's something is a great product and there's a ton of bad reviews there, guess what? Most of those are fake.
Yeah.
They're fake because competitors, they go and they attack the big dog, and which happened to us. There
Oh
was
yeah.
there were so many. In fact, there's two awful things that happen on Amazon. One is that we would get these competitors who would come and they would just publish crap reviews, which hugely hurts you on Amazon. But
Oh
then,
no.
secondly, Amazon has the dumbest rules about how to win buy boxes. Okay. And so what happens is it's an open auction like system, which basically says anybody can claim they sell a product, and if they sell it for a cheaper price than you, they can win the buy box. Okay.
Yeah.
So there would be countless number of fake brands, fake sellers who would they call it hacking the buy box. They would hack our buy box by claiming they sold hostage tape for half the price. And so we're constantly fighting these hackers who are hacking the buy box. So then imagine that somebody goes to Amazon and they're looking for hostage tape and they go, "Oh, wow, look at this. It's on sale for like $10. Sweet. I'm going to buy that." And they click because it's right there
Right.
and they buy it. And then 3 weeks later, they don't know why it took so long. And it comes in a bag that doesn't look like hostage tape at all. And they're like, "This is horseshit."
Right.
And then they go to the reviews and they give us a terrible review,
Totally.
and it wasn't even ours.
Yeah.
And so that whole thing is a complete racket that um, is a huge problem in Amazon that we've experienced it in Walmart. So we're on Walmart.com, and granted, Walmart doesn't have the volume that Amazon
Right.
does, but they're pushing. They're going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of Walmart. And so we're the top seller of mouth tape on Walmart, and all of a sudden, like after the Rogan mentioned, like we got mentioned on Rogan a couple months ago, like shit just blew up, and then all of a sudden, all these random sellers start coming out of the woodwork in Walmart and started hacking our buy box.
Right.
And I'm like, "Fuck, Walmart's got the same problem."
Right.
So I went to my Walmart rep and I'm like, "Guys, like, can we solve this problem here? I can't keep putting in tickets at the volume that people are hacking the buy box here, and then it taking a week for you guys to fix it." So they're like, "Okay, yeah." So they went in and they locked it down so that nobody could claim they're selling hostage tape, because I'm like, nobody should be able to claim, and that's the way Amazon should work.
Right.
Nobody should be able to claim that they can sell your product if you're the only manufacturer of your product.
Agreed.
Period.
Yeah.
Like that should be an easy fix for them, and I don't know why they do that.
Yeah.
So
That Amazon thing's real. Like, I've written 2 books and I have a large, you know, customer client fan base all over the country, all over the world. And my clients that I know personally would buy my book, submit a review, and Amazon would deny it and say, "Oh, this is BS." I'm like, I know they bought the book from Amazon because they just following my lead, right? And
yeah,
then somebody else who I didn't even know, they put like a 1-star review up and they would allow it like crazy. And like I battled with them on that for years until I finally just said, screw it. Like, what, it's not, the fight's not worth the fight. And so there is a lot of like craziness that goes on over there that for some reason they just allow, which is, completely nonsensical. So I
well,
think you guys are going to be fine.
and it's the amount of just crap products that they allow, the amount of
Oh yeah.
bullshit stuff that they allow to be sold on there.
You and I could spend 3 minutes right now and probably
It
go through
is
and yeah,
it is wild and insane, man.
it's
And
like the
then,
Wild West.
but yet, legitimate U.S. companies like me, they won't allow.
Yeah, that makes zero sense. So if you guys were listening and you do go to Amazon, get out of there. Let's just go to hostagetape.com. I mean, is that our landing
Yeah,
spot where we want to
yeah,
go?
you're not gonna find it on Amazon. You're gonna find just crappy, faceless sellers who are probably out of China, honestly, that don't actually really sell a good version. So yeah, just go to hostagetape.com. You can get it on Walmart.com. That is
Okay.
legit too. But you're gonna
All right.
get much better bundles, volume bundles on hostagetape.com for sure.
Okay. We'll drive everybody there. And I'm looking at the website right now. I mean, $24.95 just for a month's supply. So this is,
Well,
we're not,
if you get like a 3 or a 6 month or a 12-month supply, that 25 goes down to like $15
oh, see,
per
beautiful.
unit.
Yeah. So
So
we're not talking about we're not talking about a car payment here. We're talking about something very, very affordable, low barrier to entry. So I think this is a must try for, I would say, anybody who knows that they're breathing out of their mouth, wants better quality sleep, wants to improve. And you guys know this because I speak about it ad nauseum, but like if your sleep sucks, your life sucks, right? You're not going to be able
mhm.
to lose weight. You're not going to be able to add muscle. You're not going to be able to perform. Your cognitive ability is going to decline. Like literally every aspect of your life is going to get worse. And this is a way to easily improve it. And so if you're asking yourself those questions, the answer is simply just yes. Let's give it a run, right? I mean, there's no downside to it. The worst case scenario, if you feel like you're asphyxiating yourself, you can take it off. Like it's
Yeah,
self.
I promise you, you will
Right.
not
I don't think so
suffocate.
either.
And
But
I'll give everybody some reassurance here. So we're partnered with the largest ear, nose, and throat clinic in California, the LA Center for ENT. And their founder, he's a board certified surgeon. And what he tells his patients, people who come in, they'll say, okay, go ahead and lie down for me and shut your mouth and breathe through your nose. And almost every single person can do that and not feel like they need to
Yeah,
gasp open
totally.
and breathe out of their mouth because you're sedentary, you're not moving, and you're lying down. So the reality is, from a doctor, most of you can breathe perfectly normal out of your nose. Even if you think you can't, you can.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly safe for you to breathe out of your nose the whole night because that's what our body was designed to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think listen, I think it's a no brainer. I actually feel stupid for not trying it up until now. So, you know, if you feel dumb like me, don't just go buy the product.
Don't
Let's
feel dumb, man.
move along.
I went through 40 years of my life the same thing. It's you're not dumb or stupid for not knowing that, man. It's just that's just
Yeah.
this country, this culture. We just weren't taught that.
Yeah. And I don't snore, but I am always looking to optimize my sleep. Like that's really like, you know, that's, I think that's one of the biggest cornerstones if we really want to live a healthier, more
Well,
productive,
and
everything.
so to piggyback on what you just said, a lot of people think about this and go, "Oh, it stopped snoring," or "It's about snoring." It's not really. Yes, it helps snoring. It can reduce snoring, and for many
Yeah.
people, stop snoring. But it's truly about what you said earlier. It's are you mouth breathing at night?
Right.
So for anybody listening, if you are not mouth breathing, you don't need mouth tape when you sleep. You don't. But if you are mouth breathing, which most of you probably are, because I would say because if you're thinking, "Am I mouth breathing?" Then my question is, do you wake up with a dry mouth? Like big old
You,
dry mouth?
you took the words out of my, in preparation for this. I woke up this morning and I was like, son of a,
Yeah.
I was like, I was breathing
Then
out
you
of my mouth.
know.
Yeah, totally.
Or you just got to ask your partner and go,
Yeah.
"Hey, when I'm sleeping, is my mouth open?" You
Yeah.
know, and if it is, got to get it shut. And if you got kids and your kids are mouth breathing, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
perfectly safe to put mouth tape on your kids. Get your kids mouth taping for sure. You definitely don't want your kids mouth tape, or you definitely don't want your kids mouth breathing.
100%. I mean, listen, it's such a simple solution that I almost think like I said, I feel stupid and it sounds so easy that like I hope that you guys just take advantage because a lot of the solutions that we try to bring to the world in the way, shape, and whatever of health and fitness require some kind of nonsense, right? Let's take this injection or this pill or this potion or this lotion. Let's let's bring it back down to like the most simplistic thing that we can do, and that's just breathe, right? So
Yeah, I'll give you another. I'll piggyback on that too, because so you bring up a really good point. A lot of the people who challenge us, they'll say, "Oh, that's dumb. Just go in and get surgery. Why wouldn't you get surgery for that?" Okay, again, this is from the doctors, the ENTs. They say, okay, number one, getting surgery is really expensive, and guess what? It's not covered by health insurance.
all right.
Okay. Number two is it's really painful and it doesn't usually work for snoring at all. And then lastly, they actually will recommend to patients, how about we try mount taping? It's super simple and easy, low hanging fruit that if it works, awesome. You don't need to get surgery,
Right.
right? And you just got to wear mount tape, which isn't that bad, right? So mount taping is the simplest, lowest hanging fruit that anybody can try. You could try it with Scotch tape. You do not have to use mount or hostage tape to try this. Now, I would recommend that as you graduate into it, you're
Right.
probably going to learn like, okay, Scotch tape or whatever tape maybe doesn't work great with facial hair and beards, and you need a better solution, something that feels more comfortable. But you could try anything just to see like, is this actually going to work? So
Yeah. And listen, I love cool shit. And so like there's no way I'd try anything else other than hostage tape just because like I said earlier, the name and the allure and the branding and all that. And now that we got to know you, I'm a big believer in like I don't care what it is. Like I don't want to buy anything from anybody that I don't like or that I wouldn't want to have a cocktail or a coffee with, and you fit the bill. So I think I can vouch for Alex and say that let's go support the brand. Let's go support hostage tape. And dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. This has been cool for me, just like I said, as a health and fitness guy to miss on something, which I think is a lot of us. Like we're usually miss. You don't know what you don't know, And so I appreciate you educating me today and then giving the people just some, an opportunity to get better. I think that's really what we're all looking for.
Dude, it's been great. Thanks for having me. Let's end on I was going to tell my Ed Milet story.
Oh
Let's
yeah, dive in there. Let's get in there.
let's end on this one. Okay.
Yes.
On a So before we jumped on, I was telling him that I've got an Ed Milet story. So I was at it was a coaching conference, right? So it was some conference in, God, I don't even remember where. It was like Orlando or somewhere where it was a couple hundred, like 500 coaches, right? Like fitness coaches were
Yeah.
there, and there was a bunch of keynote speakers there, right? Like Ed Milet was the main keynote, and Ed Milet's probably one of the greatest speakers on the planet
Agreed.
ever,
Agreed.
right? Just phenomenal, dude.
Yeah.
Right. So I got a chance to go on stage and talk for like 5, 10 minutes. And I'm like, hell yeah, man. And so, and I've been on stage. I've done enough talks now that I've been able to tell my story. And so I go there, I go up on stage, and I do my talk. Goes really well. It was one of the first times I actually got on stage and did my kind of founder story in front of a lot of people. And it was awesome, really well. And it's always nerve wracking, right? And so then I get off, and then who comes on next? Ed Milet. So on my first stage talk that I've ever done, I opened for Ed Milet, probably
There
the
you
greatest
go.
speaker on the planet.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, way better to open for him than to try to come on after him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
don't want to follow that guy for sure.
No, I mean,
So
he is. I agree with you 100%. Like, I would say, I don't care what you think about Ed, good, bad, and different. Hands down, the ability to captivate a room with a talk, unmatched. Like
yeah,
he could light up a Christmas tree that wasn't plugged in. Like he can go when it's time to go. So that's a cool story, man. Now, how did you after doing this, was this early on? Like, was this early on in the process?
this was. I mean, this was like a year in. Like this
Okay.
was like year 2 of the business. So it was
Yeah.
over a year ago because
Yeah.
we're going into almost year 4. We're close to year 4 now. But that was like a year in, and my whole goal as the CEO, right, kind of the front man of the company, is to get out, to talk to as many people as I can, to tell my story. And so I do these. I do podcasts. I go on TV. I try to get on stages. I just try to get in front of as many people as I can just to continue to tell a story so that people, they connect a face, a person, like some authenticity to the brand. And so that's was really the goal of when I do things like that. And I just never, if I'd have known that I was
Yeah.
going on before Ed Milet, I probably would have been way more nervous than I was.
Totally. Yeah.
But then I came off and I was like, I saw him get announced and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's cool.
Ed probably has no idea who I am. Or at least at the time he didn't. I
Yeah.
think he knows who we are now, but
I bet he does. I bet if he hasn't tried mouth taping, like he's a health and fitness and wellness conscious guy. Like there's no doubt that if he hasn't, he will. So I think we can pretty much guarantee that. Dude, like I said, this has been awesome. I know the audience is going to enjoy this. I want to help you move the needle to get to where it is you guys want to go with the mouth taping projections, and I think you can easily get there. I don't see this being a problem. You're going to have massive success.
that's the plan, man.
Love it. Hey, stay on afterwards. I want to wrap with you for a couple seconds. But guys, thank you for listening. Alex, thanks for joining us today. And this has been one of the best conversations I've had in a while, man. I appreciate you.
You got it, guys. Remember, don't let bad sleep hold you hostage anymore.
Love it. All right, team. We'll see you in a bit. Bye.